In this episode, I'm going to discuss 3 key thoughts I'm currently mulling over while I turn 40 on a personal development journey. With these 3 thoughts, 2 of them are going to be a little bit more on the positive side, and 1 of them is going to be a little bit more of a negative or on the reflective side of things. The first thought that I'm currently mulling over as I turn 40 or hit this milestone birthday on a personal development journey is that I have more projects, plans, and goals in action and in motion than I've ever had at any point in my life. When I turned 30, I didn't really have any plans. The big one that I have was moving to Canada, which I did. When I turned 35, I had goals and plans written down, but I hadn't really put anything into motion. And as I'm coming up to my 40th, I can definitely see I have 2 or 3 projects. This YouTube channel is one of them. I have a little Amazon business that is up and going. Little things that are more than just words in a paper and ideas that I'd like to complete. They're actually projects that are in motion and have a tangible aspect to them. And I think this is the first major milestone birthday. And let's take a couple of milestone birthdays like 21, 25, 30, 40. Those birthdays in my life, I've never really had as much going on as I do now. And that is a positive for me. When you're coming up to a milestone birthday, sometimes you start reflecting on where you are in your life and where you want to go and what you haven't done and what you want to achieve. And those birthdays, or even days like New Year's Eve or different milestones throughout the year, can get you thinking and being reflective and maybe get you inspired to start doing something, or on the flip side of that, make you feel a bit guilty and a bit regretful because you haven't pushed your life forward. However, this one, and going back to the main point and the main thought that I'm mulling over, I've never had more on the go when it comes to work, when it comes to relationships and friendships, and when it comes to projects like this YouTube channel. I've got so much going on right now that it's a real positive in my life, and I feel good about it, which is pretty awesome. The second point and the second thought that I'm mulling over currently as I'm passing this milestone birthday is a little bit more the negative one, like I mentioned at the start. And this negative one is that voice in the back of my head that's kind of saying to me, surely by the age of 40, you should have already done a lot of this. Surely by the age of 40 and now being out of university 18 years or 17 years, maybe you could have had your own business. Maybe you could be slightly further up the corporate ladder. Maybe you really should have had a lot of this figured out. And that is one thought that I can't get away from. And I don't know what point in my life I'm going to be able to turn around and be like, you know what, I caught up. You know what, no, I'm good. And I don't know whether I'll always be chasing that. And that's something that I have to think about myself. And that's something that I have to journal on. And that's something I have to decide by myself how I want to mentally deal with that voice inside my head. It's kind of funny. I think all 3 of these thoughts that I have currently that I'm really thinking about, they kind of either go with each other or compete against each other. And it really is I wouldn't say it's a confusing time. It's just kind of a funny time in my day, in my life. But the third thought that I'm mulling over and that I'm really thinking about is the fact that I don't feel like I have ever in my life had more capabilities, more confidence, and more skills than I ever do right now. I really do feel like I could take on almost anything and succeed at it. But it's taking that action is the stumbling block, I think, sometimes, because I think I can get too comfortable within my corporate job and maybe not do things in my projects. However, with that set aside, because that's kind of going back into the second thought about could I not have done this already. But this last thought and this last sort of idea that I have that I'm really proud of is that over the last 7 years during my Struggling to Succeed journey, since I started really picking up those books, reading those blog posts or listening to those podcasts or going to those seminars and continuously coming back to that learning well over and over and over again, I'm remembering to take action. At this point in my life, I have actually never been more capable in many areas of my life. I've never been better at a whole bunch of things that I do in my life. And that is something that I think is very, very key when you're passing any birthday, any year, New Year's Eve, whatever it is, when you set your goals and you reflect on your life, whatever time it is, whether it's your 35th birthday, your 50th birthday, your 60th, your 25th, your 21st, whatever birthday you're at right now, or whatever milestone you're at, to be able to actually think back and go, hold on a second, look where I've come from and look where I am now, and actually feel really good about that. Putting yourself out there and learning new things, and by doing little courses and reading books, you're enhancing your skill set, not only for your jobs, but for your relationships in your life and just general day-to-day interactions. You're just making yourself a better person through education. And I think that is such a great way for me to wrap up this video, and such a great way for me to think about milestone periods in my life going forward. If I can sit down each year and look back at the person from the year before and be like, what have I learned? And I could write out a bunch of books that I've read, maybe write out a couple of courses I've done, I'm always going to feel better about myself because I'm moving my life forward. And I think that's something that's really, really key. Focusing on growth and contribution, and focusing on educating and moving to the next level. And that's for this third thought, and I'll wrap up this video. I really do feel more confident about my abilities than I ever have done at any other point. And that really goes down to 7 years of personal development. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit that like button if you did. Also, let me know what you think. Where are you in your personal development journey? What have been your stumbling blocks, or what are you currently thinking about, and what are you questioning as you go through your life? Let me know in the comments below. Let's get the conversation started. Thanks very much for watching all the way through to this point of the video. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you next time. My mission here is to deliver bite-sized videos each week that can hopefully help those that start late on their development journey, on their lifelong education journey, get started. Hit that subscribe button if you think that sounds like a fun thing to be involved in. Make it a good one.